Way back in a land before time. 1994. An up-and-coming screenwriter known as Kevin Williamson by his friends and, well, Kevin Williamson by his fans, sat in his stock photo study and created a masterpiece. Scream. And in this little movie on his little desk was a little character, written to be nothing but a bland accomplice to the main villain. However, no one could have predicted how 27 years later, they would still be a fan favourite. Stu Macher. A character brought to life by Mathew Lillards' incredible saliva-filled performance, he has now gone down in the franchise's history as one of the Ghostface greats for his humour and wacky antics. However, one other aspect that makes him such an interesting character is his motive. The Ghostface who did it just for fun, or who did it because of peer pressure and his skin being sensitive or something. Today, I'm going to dive into his motive, and with the help of some deleted scenes and franchise-wide comparison, we will discover that Stu's image of a peer-pressured friend who was in over his head may have just been a grand illusion to mask the true evil and malice that laid beneath his skin. Hello horror fans, my name is Spookful, and let's get right into Stu's motive, starting with the end of Scream 1. After Stu and Billy share a very intimate stabbing and slashing dinner date, followed by the romantic conclusion that is knocking out a small-time news reporter, our brave protagonist Sydney has brutally killed a surprisingly large amount of people for a protagonist. Prescott makes a dash for it and plays prop hunt as a coat in the downstairs supply closet. It's from here where she calls the house to ask about their car's extended warranty. Oh wait, no sorry. She asks them why they decided to murder their close friend group and Sydney's mother. Whilst Billy Skinny Jeans gets angry and takes his rage out on Stu's family pillows, which, like, come on, they didn't do anything to you. It's very disrespectful, and look, you've got feathers everywhere, all over the crime scene now. That's gonna take so long to clean up. Well, anyway, Stu then responds to Sydney in perhaps my favourite line of the whole franchise, where he says, and I quote, Peer pressure. I'm far too sensitive. Sensitivity aside, this line at first tells us that perhaps Stu was manipulated by his stabbing partner, and whilst not at all a valid excuse for their bloody little rampage, it offers us a surface level reason behind Stu's thought process when it comes to cutting down his friend group to a twosome and almost certainly getting himself haunted for the rest of his life.
Like there's a ghost right behind me, isn't there?
But Stu Shaggy Macher's obsession with Billy becomes even worse when we look at a deleted scene, which was brought to my attention by the YouTuber Behind the Mask who makes cool spooky Scream videos, so check them out if you want. So in this deleted scene we see our cunning unreciprocated couple walking down the street acting all cool, head into a video store, where their good friend, who once again they plan to murder for no reason, Randy Goatee Meeks, works. And in this scene one line sticks out in particular, where Billy says, quote, "You're far too sensitive," to Stu. This deepens Stu lines later in the film from, "Oh, I really like my friend and they peer pressured me to doing it," to, "I like my friend so much, I am literally quoting their exact words when reasoning my murders." This shows us how truly one-sided Stu's relationship with Billy was, and how Stu looked up to his friend so much he could probably tell you every single detail about Billy's nose hairs, and also got a nasty strain in his neck in the process. This backs up to the thumbnail of this little video you clicked on, where I called Stu a victim, because perhaps if he loved Billy this much, there may have been some manipulation and toxicity in their relationship. Maybe Stu would have grown up just fine if he hadn't met Billy, and joined a mystery hunting crew, latched onto a dog as his best friend as well. But I think his true reasoning is so much deeper than this. I think Stu's true reasons for his murders are so outlandish and frightening, he may be the most evil Ghostface of them all. Stu's behaviour throughout Scream doesn't usually follow the trend most Ghostfaces set, where they have a big switch up in the final act, personality-wise. He always comes across as a sociable, funny, hyper little guy. The kind of friend you would want to play Smash Bros on a summer Sunday afternoon, maybe crack open a couple of cold Capri Suns and not ask any questions why Stu picked the most psychotic character, Kirby. But this lack of change along with some of Stu's lines reveals how evil he really is. His behaviour is often compared and likened to one other character from the franchise, Mickey from Scream 2. Now, Mickey Mouse going to sneak into your clubhouse and murder you over here is an interesting Ghostface, as in the words of Mrs. Loomis,
97 active serial killers in the country today, so Mickey here was quite a find.
Now, the two Ghostfaces whose personalities resemble each other are most typically considered to be on the opposite sides of the villainous spectrum. Interesting. Very interesting. Mickey is a character who finds his crimes and involuntary life expectancy activation date shortening to be a funny haha joke, and takes great pleasure in handing his friends an untimely demise. Very evil indeed. And when Sydney asks Billy and Stu why they decided to play IRL Among Us with their friends, Stu says, quote, It was fun. Huh? That doesn't sound very innocent, Stu. Are you sure you enjoyed it?
Because let's face it, baby, these days, you gotta have a sequel. This one, it's a scream, baby. Hold on a sec. I'll be right back.
Guess we won't be needing this anymore.
Oh. I guess maybe he did. In fact, when you look at Stu's face when Billy reveals the whole backstory of Sydney's mum and Billy's dad loving each other very much and deciding to have a sleepover in a motel together, Stu seems shocked almost. Like he didn't know why Billy was doing it. Like he believed that the only reason they were committing their heinous crimes was for fun. Now that sounds psychotic, doesn't it? In fact, when you look at every member of the weird, bloody Ghostface family, none of them have ever committed their crimes just because it was fun. Even Mickey, who I mentioned earlier, was hired by Mrs. Loomis, by her offering to pay his tuition, and he would get his B-movie court case moment when it went to trial. But Stu just enjoyed it. He murdered his own friends and knowingly let his girlfriend be killed just because it was fun, and he wanted to make a sequel. Maybe he really had seen too many scary movies. Out of all the Ghostfaces, Beef Stu over here stands out now as not a character who was influenced, but a character who treads a fine line between being broken and pure evil. A line that if he did survive the events of 1996, he's sure to have crossed now and embraced his evil side, to become the biggest villain the Scream franchise has ever known. So, that about sums all that up. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you stay tuned till next week, I'm starting a new series where I pick two horror characters against each other in a horror battle. The first thumbnail for that is up now on your screen as a little teaser, but yeah, apart from that, thank you for watching, and until next time.
I'll be right back.